Ta-da!
Hey guys, cool stuff I've been working with. So I've shown you guys periodically a couple of our little sneak peeks, especially the Great and Mighty Power Source, which is a huge piece of this video game. That is your objective, basically, is to destroy those. In a way. But I don't want to talk about the game because I'll give too much away. I'm the person that gets you something for Christmas and I walk up to you like 3 weeks before Christmas, be like, I got you a thing and I want you happy. And I don't even wrap it because I'm just like, that's just a waste. I'm horrible. I will tell you all what I got you because I just suck at keeping secrets. Depends on the secret though. If it will hurt you, then no one on earth will ever pry it from me. But that being said, moving on. Hopefully caffeine will kick in. So, I needed to get a hold of something so that I could get importing texture maps and basically importing my stuff correctly, because I hate the idea of trying to pull something in and I'm just like, how does it work in this one? So if I have something that I've made but it doesn't go onto one particular thing, like, here we go, like my maps here, if we're gonna get out of this actually. So if we go over here to Blender, that's my gun. Oh, where am I? Data Shock. Good, okay. Apparently Data Shock doesn't have it. Oh, I know where it is. Power Source. DDD moments. Alright, here we go. When you build a 3D object and you pull it in from Blender and you UV unwrap it, first that's very important, you UV unwrap it, then you pull that into Substance Painter, and from Substance Painter you make your pretties and then you export your pretties and then you get these maps. Simply put, that's how it's made. So here are my all-around pretties, which most of these don't matter to anyone but me because I'm the one who has to do all this nonsense. So you have your roughness map, which basically tells, let me try and remember, anything that's white or light gray is going to have more shine than anything that's black. Black is not shiny. It's a matte color. So that's how that's made. That's the point of that. So here is your normal map. Normal map is the push and pull that you visually see, and it also tells the computer whether or not there's going to be a cast shadow created without creating more geometry. So these masks are cheat codes, basically. Metallic, once again, this is shiny versus not shiny. But unlike glossy versus matte, this one right here gives the ability to, like, if you had a shiny penny versus a not so shiny penny, you have one that reflects a lot of light and then you have another one that absorbs the light. That's white, reflects, black, absorbs. Ta-da! Alright, height is another one that just, another one bites dust. I don't know. It's a pain in the butt to explain. So, yeah, we're going back into this. Alright, here we go. So, the reason why I'm making this is because anyone who's pulling in from any of your Adobes into something that you specifically made for an item, you're always going to get it exact, period. But if you're pulling in an overall texture, like you just have a wall and you want to put a texture that you love on it, but they don't have it in Unity, and you've made this specifically for walls, but you didn't make it unwrapped. You just made a general texture. That's what this is. This is a general texture, and I'm just making sure that the general texture looks correct on the floor. So here is the floor after I screwed around with it, but this is what I found. The closer it is to 0, the bigger it is. Ta-da! Whereas the further you get from 0, the tinier it gets. And that's going to hurt my eyes. I'm not even going to try this. So 6. Apply. This is going to be more like a tiling on a bathroom wall. Or you're making a mosaic kind of thing. That kind of feel. Oh my God, that hurts my soul. This being said, that hurts my soul, and I'm not dealing with that. So, we're going back to 0.5. And apply. Example. See? A little bit easier on the eyeballs and doesn't make your anxiety go, ah! Alright, so here's what we're doing here versus if I were to do this, if I were to build this particular thing in Blender, it would be a hot mess on a Saturday afternoon, and it was all, if you were to build this procedurally through Blender, it would eat your GPU or CPU alive. I have crashed many times building a library, and I was peeved when I found out about all the other things while I was building these things in Blender. So here we go. And I built everything individually, and then I put an array, and then from the array I built more arrays, and and that was just, don't do it, it sucks. It eats everything. Well, that being said, don't do it. Just pull it into Substance Painter and then pull it into this using texture samples, or in my case, texture maps. And you know what? I'm actually going to show you that. Power source. Because I'm insane. Here it is. So it's already been UV. See, here's the UV unwrap map. Then we're going into shading, and here it is. And because it was previously made, you can use Control T? No, Control Alt. No, Control Shift T. Click this. Control Shift T. Textures. And this is body, so we go and grab, that's all glow, and shift here, add principles. And because the emission never works, and the only reason there's emission is because there was emission, we gotta go up here. So for me, I just kill the emission, gets killed. There it is. So, layout. See, if you build it particular to an item, you get specially made. Okay? But if you don't make it particular to the item, you have to go in and you have to do these guys. Whee! So You can tell that I am used to going into like 15 different places. So here's your principal. And this right here is very, very close. Remember how I said you have your texture mapping and texture coordinating coordinates. There we go. Words. So here's all these. And you can actually go and mess with the scale. You can make the scale bigger, smaller, all that good jazz. So this is what I needed to import. By the way, that displacement, I'm going to have to figure out about displacements for everything on this for the next one. So you can see that right here is pretty much the same as right here. We can actually open all this up. I don't know why it's closed. Oh, I know exactly why it's closed. Because nobody... There we go. Clean everything up, because the one thing you don't want is something you can't immediately see. So I needed the principal BSDF words is not too far off of the unities right here. You have your base color, just like base color, metallic, roughness, normal maps. But for this one, we don't just go from the normal directly into it. We actually have to turn it into a normal map. So we have to go from the normal to the normal map, from the normal map into normals. Whereas this one, you don't have to. You just go directly into the normal, which is a nice change of pace, honestly. So this versus this. That's what I wanted to show everybody today is Unity has made things so much easier than it had to be. And for a free resource, I am in love. But this is how just a general versus something made specifically for the item. And from what I understand is you can actually bring the procedural ones over and build them a lot easier into. This would be considered procedural because nah, I don't think it's actually procedural. Depends on how you define those guys. Procedural would be something that you build off of textures and things like that. You go through the node system to do that. This is their node system, by the way. They call this something else, but I don't always refer to it nodes because that's how I learned. Yeah, that's basically all I have to show is the difference between these versus the difference between these. It's a wee bit on the different side, but man, if it doesn't make a whole lot more sense. So I personally like to try and keep everything as clean and organized as I can because I am a hot mess on a Saturday afternoon. There we go. We'll just put that right there. There, now it looks cleaner to me and I can see where everything's going. So, yeah, this was my way of showing you guys that there's a massive difference, and if you need to know how to get these things in without major malfunctions, I had to go back and watch this amazing creator. I really am enjoying his stuff. His name is Unreal Sensei. Yeah, something like that. He's something Sensei. Unreal Sensei, I subscribe because when I run into small things, I like to go back to his beginner courses and figure out where the disconnect from what I'm used to versus what Unity now does for me. He's really great at explaining it, and his breakdown is amazing too. So if you have any questions or concerns about this stuff, watch his, because he'll break it down Barney style for you. And I'm going to reiterate a little bit because I need to get better at performing these things and understanding what they do. Their node system and the node system I'm used to is not completely different, but it's harsh enough differences that I need to know what I'm doing. So today, this is what we did. Tomorrow, who knows what we're up to. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend.
Ta-da!